Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Murder Most Misfortunate, and we're gonna try to actually get like a real ending or a better ending. Um, so I kind of looked it up, and there's one bad ending, and that's us messing up, accusing one of the suspects with a wrong answer. So we can technically, I was right. You can accuse anyone. So I looked though. I just looked up Sharice's one between the parts, and to accuse her, he was pushed and fell, which we did, and then investigating him. There wasn't even a fucking option, so I'm really confused. I'm wondering if we went wrong because we should have said, like, love, but it's like, that's kind of dumb because then that wasn't even an option that she was investigating him. But we're gonna go with Horatio because he's the only other person.
You, Horatio. You killed
and we'll just see what happens with this, because I think we can accuse him, but now let's see if we can hopefully get the right thing. Because you were in love with Charisse, he was gonna marry her.
Me? Misfortune, surely you jest.
Horatio, my dear. I think we
I'm
all
gonna try
agree
this.
that if anyone here is a jester, it's definitely you.
No. I am not a jester. A wizard, a sorcerer, a warlock, if you will. I'm absolutely sure we've been over this before.
Yeah. Grand Goofus of the Court or whatever it was. Can we get to the
Should have
point?
saved
Why do you
where
think
all
he
the
did
names
it?
were.
Yes, why would I kill my oldest and
I have my
closest
suspicions,
friend?
but
I am more distraught by this terrible affair than anyone. Completely and utterly distraught.
Yes, motive. To answer that question, I think we need to first understand why we're all here for this little party at all. Before he left us for the last time, the prince said that he would return with an announcement. I have an inkling of what it might have been.
proposing to Charisse, he's not gonna tell us.
From the beginning, I've had
He's
the
not gonna tell us he's
nagging
going bankrupt.
impression that this entire evening was a show staged for just one special someone. That someone is you, Miss Charisse.
A show? For me?
Yes, for you. It's no secret to any of us at this point that you and the prince had been, shall we say, stepping out.
Woohoo! Stepping out.
And so the climax to the prince's little drama is obvious. He was going to ask for your hand in marriage. That's why he had this with him, isn't it?
Hey, where'd you get that?
Now, all in good time. For now, it's enough to prove the prince's intent. You don't look surprised, my dear.
No. Not completely surprised, anyway.
My, a grand public proposal, then.
That's my friend. He was always such an incurable romantic.
Romantic? Oh, you poor naive boy. This was nothing of the sort. It was a cold, calculated move designed by the prince to get the result he wanted. Whisk the object of his affections out of her element into a strange and unfamiliar house, frighten her with ghost stories all evening, and then make a sweeping public proposal in front of a group of
So that no one would know he was going
strangers,
bankrupt.
like myself and the Comtessa.
And you rigged the electricity. I mean, this could, maybe, I don't know. But, like, he rigged the electricity because there was, like, the timer box, and it wasn't, he's like, oh, that was his idea. I don't think it was his idea, asshole.
Oh, yes, indeed. What girl wouldn't want all of that, I ask you?
Probably her.
Horatio, my friend. Tonight will be the night. I have arranged a nice little soiree at the Lee Manor. Just a small
We're at the Lee Manor.
affair, so as to be intimate, but with guests that my beloved does not know well. The setting should be perfect.
It's kind of,
And you're going to propose right there?
it's
in front
weird
of
that he's
everyone?
wearing a mask. I mean, he's dressed like a wizard, so I guess.
Yes. When the time is right. Of course, we must set the mood first. A flash of lightning, a clap of thunder, a macabre historical tidbit or two, and perhaps a little surprise courtesy of your talents, just to add a little more flair.
Why, of course. I can conjure up just the thing for you, I'm sure. But do you really think this will work?
Oh, whoops. Need to click that. I might
My
scroll.
dear friend, how little you understand of the fair sex. This girl, she is pure as the fallen snow. She only sees the best in everyone. We have nothing to fear. She will be as putty.
Well,
in
he's
my
kind of a douche.
hands.
Probably battery's dead, Charisse.
I really must confess, it was all quite masterfully done. Rejecting a proposal under such circumstances would be unbelievably awkward, both socially and psychologically. Not a bad one to remember for my own books, I think.
This is all pure conjecture and, I might add, completely ridiculous.
Yes, you would be quite the authority on the ridiculous, wouldn't you?
But, be all of that as it may, you still have yet to get to the part where I have even the slightest reason to kill anybody.
Is that so? I rather thought by this point that
You're
would be
in love with her.
obvious.
Yeah, you want to marry her.
It's the oldest
Not
tale
protect
in the
her. I
book,
would.
really.
He was in love with her.
Two men, one beautiful, charming, and extraordinarily wealthy young girl. You couldn't let Titanico marry Charisse because you wanted to marry her yourself.
That's
Absolutely right.
All of your life, you've lived in your friend's shadow, haven't you? And here he was, planning to marry a dream wife under your very nose. It was too much. He had to be stopped. She had to be yours.
Oops. My mouse is
well,
too down on the
no,
screen.
you see, you look here. While, of course, I have nothing but admiration for Miss Charisse, I mean, it's just, as you say, who wouldn't? But the incontrovertible point here is, how could I possibly have killed the prince when I was the one in the basement busily fixing the lights at the time?
Ah, excellent. So we've moved on from the why to the how. Indeed. How was the prince killed after all?
How? Don't we know how? Took a shiv right
Nope.
to the back.
I'm not so sure it's that simple.
We already know he fell.
To be fair, we can't really fault Mr. Clarkson for seeing only half the picture. The prince was stabbed, yes. But is that what killed him? I think that the prince...
Oh! The weird wire stuck in the phone. He picked up the phone. That timer wasn't to blow the fuse. Maybe it did, but maybe it had a second timer to electrocute the prince. So then he'd fall off the balcony, and then he stabbed him. That's why there wasn't a lot of blood. Oh! He was electrocuted.
was attacked in quite a clever way, really. He was stabbed, yes, but that wasn't until he was already dead. Or
Damn,
very
that's
close
overkill,
to
man.
it. First, he was electrocuted.
Electrocuted? Good heavens! You mean the bad wiring?
Oh no, this was no accident. If you check the phone closely, you'll see it's got this rather sneaky extra wire hooked up to it. The phone's an older model with a metal casing, so if the wire was live...
I get it. The prince got shocked by the phone and tumbled off the balcony.
When he turned the electricity on. So he had the wire in, he blew the fuse, he went down, fixed it, and as soon as he turned the electricity on, stab, stab, stab.
And broke his leg from the fall. After that, he was stabbed too. It's
Fucking brilliant.
monstrous.
Hang on, but I picked up that phone. I didn't get shocked.
No, because at that point the wire wasn't live. But someone could have turned it on in the meantime. Someone in the
All
breaker
of the
room.
switches were on except for one.
So when I told the boss about the call in the dining room and he went to go
He
get
flipped the
it,
breaker.
Exactly. By the time he reached the phone, the wire was live.
Now, just wait 1 minute here. Since I was down in the breaker room at the time, how could I possibly have timed all of this so precisely? There's no way anyone could hear the phone ringing from the basement.
You set up the call for a certain time.
It's true, we didn't even hear it from the dining room.
My dear Horatio, I can't believe that I'm the one reminding us. of all
Yes.
this. But you are a magician. You had it all planned out from the beginning. Getting the timing right was easy because...
See? Okay, we had the call was fake. Horatio made the call, so I know that knows it. But see, this, we have, like, I know when we had Charisse is like, these two weren't right. So we obviously made a choice. But it's weird because, like, if I looked up, like, how do you, if, you know, the Charisse thing, and it's like, what they told you should pick. See, she tipped off the auditor as one of them, so I'm assuming that's the right one here. But we never got that. So maybe
You
it's
were the
because we
one to
said that
tip
she
off
didn't
the
love him.
caller. That call came from a financial
Because she wasn't being
auditor,
blackmailed.
a rather fastidious one who had been
She obviously
expressly
did care
asked
about him.
to call at precisely the time that she did.
An auditor? Oh my word. Was the prince in trouble then? I simply had no idea.
Of course you didn't. Masquerading at being successful was Titanico's main talent.
And interesting theory, Misfortune. But you can't possibly have a shred of proof. And why would I tattle on my friend to a financial auditor?
I don't know.
You said yourself, more than enough times, that you were the only one the prince would take into his confidence. So no doubt you knew of his troubles. As for why, didn't I mention that earlier? That was another reason you had to act now. You knew that once they were married, the prince planned to bleed poor little Charisse dry to pay off his creditors. No. Much better that he die now, and that his debts die with him.
So that you can marry Charisse and get all her
About
money.
the stabbing, then. Did I do that by remote, too?
At last. I think it's time to play my trump card. By slipping the knife and the ring into my bag, the killer had hoped to set me up. But that had been their biggest mistake. In reality, all they did was give me the evidence I need to put an end to this. Yes, stabbing. A bit curious, don't you think? Between the high-voltage shock and the fall, the prince was almost certainly finished already. Why take the risk to stab a man who was already
Framing,
dead?
yep.
I give up. Why?
Quite simply, because stabbing leaves a mark. A mark that would draw our attention away from the real method
Makes
of death.
sense.
And one that lets you plant incriminating evidence on another guest to take the fall for your misdeeds. Evidence like this.
Hey, that's...
There's blood on it. Misfortune.
In my fucking purse.
Why, I found it in my handbag, dear. Exactly where the killer wanted all of you to find it.
So that's it then? That's the knife that stabbed the prince.
Well,
We don't know because there was two.
Actually, this isn't the knife that stabbed the prince. But we are meant to think that it was.
But the blade. I'm sure it's a match for the wound.
Indeed. But this knife has a twin. I found it hidden under the pillow in the queen bedroom. The Comtesse was there. She'll tell you the same.
Oh, yes, indeed. And there was blood on it as well.
In fact, wasn't that the very room you were in when the body was found, Comtesse? Tell me again. Who was it that came to get you then?
It was Horatio.
I think we're doing good. We've got we're on the right path.
And you think Mr. Horatio stabbed the prince
I
with
still
that
think you could
knife after shocking him from
accuse
the bedroom
anyone,
and then hid it in the bed where he found
but
the
I don't
Contessa?
think we obviously, it should have been because she loved him, not because she was being blackmailed. So I mean, like, I don't know, just
Quite so.
Hey, wait. That doesn't add up.
Add up. Mr. Klops. I never would have guessed arithmetic was your strong suit.
I found the boss. I mean, the prince. Almost as soon as the lights came on. So Horatio must have been back in the basement by then.
Perhaps he hurried back here after finishing with the unseemly stabbing?
No way. No time. It's quite a ways to the cellar. Running all the way up from there after shocking the phone, stabbing the boss, then all the way back down in time to flip the lights back on. All in the dark, too. Not a chance.
You see, Misfortune? Even Klops here can see that your version of events is complete nonsense. How are you going to explain this one?
Simple.
I would have said he hid the knife after he ran to get the Contessa, let her really first slip the knife under the pillow.
Uh-huh. You know, he doesn't really have magic, right?
Oh, I assure you, this is magic of the most mundane variety. You see, down in the basement, there's a little timer hooked up to the breaker. That's what caused our blackout earlier, by the way. All part of the show to emotionally destabilize poor little Charisse here. But if that timer could be used to flip a breaker once, why not again?
Oh, I see it. So Horatio goes to the basement, and instead of flipping the lights on right away, sets the timer again to turn them back on in a few minutes.
Why, aren't you the smartest little thing? Get your teacher to give you a gold star for that one. Yes, as you can see, he didn't have to make it all the way back to the basement. Just as far as the stairwell, so he could pretend to be coming back up.
Yeah, I guess there'd be time, in that case.
Well, if you're all good and finished, there's just one important fact I'd like to point out. Right now, you have that knife, and I don't. Even if there was a second knife, which you could very well have planted yourself, I might add, at some point, you seem to think I somehow gave you this one. Seeing as I've apparently been spending all of my time running back and forth from the basement, arranging that little trick sounds impossible, even for my abilities.
But if that one has fake blood and it's not the prince's blood, see, if it was the prince's blood, that would be difficult because how did he get it into our purse? Huh. Let's see.
This is it. The last piece of the puzzle. Get this right, and the wizard's house of cards will collapse like the flimsy sham
Okay, so
that
we're
it
definitely on the
is.
right path with this one. Okay. When was the false evidence planted? On my arrival. Introductions and all the tour. During the blackout, we wouldn't have seen him slip something in our purse. Right?
Of course.
Just guessing.
That's
I mean,
it. Everything comes back to that moment. That blackout was the key to the whole plan all along. That, my dear would-be wizard, is simplicity itself. It was during the perfect moment that you yourself have admitted to having engineered. The blackout in the dining room.
boop, boop.
Oh, don't worry, my dear. You are safe with me.
They're just the oddest couple ever.
Thank you.
Just
I
a bit
was
startled.
Just a bit startled.
Oh, heavens, yes! The light's going out! What horror! I dare say I may faint myself, delicate flower that I am.
Please, Misfortune, allow me. I've got
Aha.
you.
Oh, what would we do without you? On second thought, you can unhand me. I seem to
Uh
be
huh.
coming
I'm
alive.
slipping in my purse. Devious son of a bitch.
Yeah, I guess that was a little weird, wasn't it?
He put the extra knife and the ring in your purse right then, when we could barely see anything.
Just so. I have no doubt the blood on my knife belongs to the prince, but no doubt it was easy for Titanico's closest confidant to collect a little sample in advance. And as for the ring, well, we were meant to think that I took it off the prince. In fact, that's exactly where you thought it was, wasn't it, Mr. Klops?
Me? What have I got to do with this?
Mr. Klops, I'm sorry, but I saw you go into the hall when you found the body. And it seemed to me you were in there for a little
Oh,
too
he was gonna
long.
steal it.
Not for long enough to kill a man, of course, but long enough to give his pockets a quick search for some valuable jewelry that you thought no one would miss.
Well, I mean, it's not like he was gonna need it, right?
Naturally not. But the prince was never carrying the ring himself, of course. That's a job you give to your best man. Although, perhaps in this case, I think worst man would be more appropriate. Wouldn't you say, Horatio?
You! How dare you! My sweet Charisse, don't listen to a word of it.
Hey, back off, you creep.
Dude.
Don't you understand? He was only using you. It was I who was meant to be with you, not him. We would have been perfect together. This was the life I've been waiting for. This was the life I deserved.
No. You're nothing but craven villains. You and the prince both. You deserve exactly the company you got. Each other.
Misfortune. This is all your fault. You ruined everything. Everything! You will regret this. You will feel the fire of a warlock's wrath. Ooh.
That felt good.
Mr. Klops, I don't know about your skills as a valet, but if I ever have need of a battering ram, I shall be most certain to give you a call.
Very pleased to have been of service, ma'am.
Goodness, after a finish like that, I shall need my doctor to prescribe me a sedative. Oh, my word. I think the police are here at last. I shall let them in.
Gotta say, glad that's over. I have to wonder though, did he really think Sherry would fall for him so easily after offing her old boyfriend?
A shared traumatic event, a grieving young girl, a sympathetic friend, and a third-party villain to blame for it all. I've seen more unlikely scenarios.
And also, men who think very highly of themselves can have a lot of trouble believing not everyone thinks the same. They may have looked different, but Titanico and Horatio, they really were alike in many ways, I think.
You really are smarter than you look. Have I told you that yet?
You are too kind.
When a half compliment's the best you're ever going to get. May as well take it, I guess.
Well, I fear that may be all the kindness I can muster for one evening. I imagine the police will want to take my statement, but after that, I hope Mr. Klops will be so good as to show me out with all haste.
I think they'll be wanting the prince's ring back, too, ma'am.
Oh, silly me. Did I put that back in my bag? It is a nice ring, I dare say. Say what you will about the prince, but he really did have good taste for certain things at least. Ta-ta then, everyone.
True ending achieved. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So that's the true ending, but you can still accuse other people and get them arrested. So let me actually look. I'm gonna look it up on Steam. Okay, so there are endings for everybody. So you could accuse Klops. And his would be because he's sick of being a valet. I'm not gonna read all the choices, except for that's the reasoning. The Comtessa is because he was spreading rumors about her husband. Leah is she was protecting Charisse because he was going to marry her. So I'm assuming it would be because he needed money and that's why he was marrying her. And so I'm assuming that's Charisse's is because, but like hers, I don't know, like it's not, I don't know when this guide was written, but I don't know if they've updated it since then, but.
Ah, yes. They just keep dropping
Wow.
dead, the poor dears. It's so hard to find a good man with stamina these days.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
No, ma'am. I'm not a butler. Just a valet.
Doc, you have it. Everyone, stay back. She's armed and very likely dangerous.
But, yeah, I don't know. The Charisse one, for some reason, wasn't right.
I had heard she was seeing someone, but I never met. I never met.
She messed up her line. That's pretty funny.
Perhaps you preferred that your wife. No, that is your husband. You are the wife, and I am an idiot.
I like that they're messing up their lines.
Misfortune, you seem to be picking on Mr. Klops for no reason at all. Why would you do that?
No. He is your husband and I am an idiot.
Yeah, nice place you got here. If you like entertaining dead people.
Is that the same girl? I just wasn't paying it. I was barely paying attention. Oh, she doesn't do a line. But anyway, so there's obviously endings for each one of the characters that you can blame them and everything. I'm not gonna play through all of the endings. Because I really only wanted to accuse Charisse and, Horatio anyway. Because no offense to the other ones, like, their reasonings are kind of like, meh. Charisse would have been the best. Like, you killed him because he's a shady bastard and you're, like, such a sweet little girl. Perfect to kill you. But, no, I'm sorry, I was just looking at the thingamajig. But yeah, but that's not bad. I mean, it was only a $5 game on Steam, so, I mean, it's not very long, but I think I got it on a sale. I think I got it during the winter sale. It was only a few bucks, so. Oh, yeah, see? So you could get all the other people, so Klops and What's-Her-Face and all the other people. So that's pretty cool. But I'm not going to play all of those endings. Well, we got the bad ending where we got arrested, and then we got one of the right endings. I wish we could have gotten Charisse's right, but it would have just been funny. But yeah, so anyway, I will wrap this up here, and I will see you guys in another game. So yeah, remember to give the video a big thumbs up, and subscribe to see more.